everyone, it's Aria. I hope you're all having a good day. So today I am doing another apartment renovation. So this is for Gen 1 of the MySims Legacy challenge. So thank you to SimBeckers on Twitter for telling me about this challenge, and yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. I don't usually do a lot of gameplay, so I'm going to really try my best with this one. So Gen 1 is for Chef Gino, so it's very similar to the standard Legacy challenge if you don't know what it is. It's based on all of the MySims figures. It's a pretty long challenge. I think it's about 20 generations long, and then I think there's an additional 5 you can choose from. So Gen 1 is Chef Gino, so I have made this apartment very focused on the kitchen and like entertaining space. So let me tell you a little bit about Gen 1. So the idea of this challenge is that you collect things as you go. So in this generation you have to collect all of the food prints from Dine Out, the experimental food prints, and unlock all 27 city living recipes. So it's pretty long. It does recommend that you play on the what's it called? You know, when you have the lifespan. That's it, lifespan. It recommends you play on long lifespan because there's quite a lot of things to do. So it gives you a little bit more information about each generation with this challenge. So it tells you which aspiration to choose, which career. It gives you an optional university degree, and it gives you the traits to assign to each sim. So the traits for Gen 1 are foodie, clumsy, and gloomy. The aspiration is Master Chef, obviously, and equally as obviously the career is the culinary career, so the chef branch, or you can own a restaurant. And the optional university degree is in the culinary arts. So I think this is going to be a really fun challenge, and usually, I mean, I don't really do much gameplay, to be honest, but it's more because I get bored with it, and I just want to build. So the fact that this one gives me quite a lot more information, I thought it could be really good to see how far I get. Obviously I highly doubt that I'm gonna get to, you know, generation 25. That's quite yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for me to see if I can actually get that far. But you know, I'm going to give it a go, and my plan is for each generation I will do a speed build of either an apartment or a house for each MySims figure. So because the MySims figure for Chef Gino has got like the red base underneath it, I kind of went with a red accent feature for this apartment. So I think it's pretty good. I've chosen the, I can't read what it says, but it's one of the Culpepper House apartments in the Spice District, and I thought that was the most fitting for placement of this apartment because you know, he's right in the middle of all of the things that you need to complete for this challenge in city living, so it seemed appropriate. The other thing I liked about this challenge is, despite the fact that it gives you pretty I guess detailed instructions on how to play and how to do things, and it gives you the traits and aspirations for the sim, everything else cast-wise is entirely up to you, like it would be in a normal Legacy challenge, so you can create whatever kind of sim you like. The rules also say you can use money cheats but not to go overboard, but what exactly is overboard? Because I don't know what that means. I use money cheats all the time, so by whose standards are you overboard? So I've just kind of gone with however much money that I needed to create the apartment, to like furnish the apartment, and I will probably, when I go in to actually play, put the household funds down to like a couple thousand simoleons and go from there, just enough to live off. So the MySims figure that I have put on the kitchen counter there, I'm pretty sure it says in the rules that you're meant to collect those. Unfortunately, I had already built the apartment when I had went back and read the rules again, so I will probably delete that when I go to actually play. But I thought it looked really cool there. This is only the second apartment I've ever renovated, and I think it turned out really nicely. I'm not a big fan of the wall height. I tried several different apartments before I settled on this one, and they all had really high wall heights, and it just made, you know, lots of awkward space, and I just wasn't particularly happy with it. But this one I think is okay. I liked the shape of the window, and I tried several different layouts, and this kind of seems the one that worked the best. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, even though I only currently have one sim to play with. But obviously the idea is he will I've created a male sim for my challenge, so obviously he will have children at some point in the future. So I have built a nursery for him, but obviously I don't have anyone to go in it just yet. So I really like what I did with this table. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it's play tested and it does, so yay! Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I'm not really sure whether next generation I will do an apartment or a house. I haven't decided yet, and I don't remember off the top of my head what Gen 2 is, what MySims figure Gen 2 is based off of or inspired by. So I've made room for a small dog in this apartment, and I haven't actually created one in CAS. I thought I'll just adopt one. But there's room, there's a couple of bowls in the kitchen, and then there's a little bed that I will put behind this armchair. I think I use the one from My First Pet Stuff. The one that I think it's like an egg. I think it's shaped like an egg. But I used the swatch that looks like a steak, I think, and I thought that was really fitting. So I really liked using that. I've never used anything really from My First Pet Stuff before. Most of it, it's not really my style. It's a little bit too, the colours are a little bit weird, but I like the bed, so that's cool. So I put a fishbowl on this table and add a couple of entryway clutter items to this whole area. I do change this chair out to the blue swatch at some point a bit later. Originally I wanted everything to be red, but it was a bit overpowering, a little bit too much, so the hallway's kind of got a softer blue scheme, and then the bedroom's more green, I think. I like the wallpaper that I've chosen for the accent wall, so it's kind of very earthy in here. I really like the way that I did this wardrobe area. Obviously it's not functional, it's just for decoration, but I thought it looked really cool. I've done variations like this before, but when I went to use the, I don't remember what it's called, the glamour pack. The mirrors I usually use are from that pack, but I used them as at the full wall height, and the ones that were for this wall height just looked really very weird. I think it's because they're so tall, so I used just the standard mirrors instead. So now I'm just adding a couple more clutter items underneath this entry table. I used these books under here, but when I try and it just doesn't look right, so I end up deleting the books and just leaving the basketball under there. And I think that looks much better. I didn't want it to be overly cluttered, just, you know, kind of lived in. The traits that this sim has, they don't really specify whether he's particularly tidy or not, but I figured, you know, chefs are usually quite clean, so I didn't want this apartment to kind of look too messy, which is definitely my usual style, but I tried to kind of hold back a little bit, rein myself in just slightly. So I liked the way that this clipped in to this. Is it like an entryway unit or a cupboard? I don't know, but I thought it looked really nice. So now we're on to the bathroom. Don't usually include these, but since it's such a small apartment, I figured I'd keep it in anyway, otherwise you'd have like a 10-minute video. So I quite like what I did with this like sink unit. I tend to try and make them a little bit more interesting, just because, you know, bathrooms are boring. And I quite like how this one turned out. It's not particularly special by any standards. Some people create amazing what are they called, like vanity units, or like a, I don't know, sink thing. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it looked okay. I put another towel over onto the right side, change it to white because it kind of looked purple, and I wanted the bathroom to be blue. I actually wanted the bathroom items, the blue swatches, to be similar to the wallpaper, but they're all different shades of that color. None of them are the same, so I end up just going with the navy color. I do end up deleting that wash basket under the towel rack, because for some reason my sim said that he couldn't get in the shower, which is very odd because he definitely could get in the shower, but you know, Sims. So I create a really nice kind of shelving unit for this bed. I wanted to use like a built-in system again, but it would have completely covered up the wallpaper, and I really wanted to have that as like an actual accent feature and not just cover it up with cupboards. So I used these kind of open shelves instead, and I think it looks really nice. I add a couple of items to the shelves, but I don't add too many. I think there's like one or two items on each shelf, so there's plenty of space for other things. I really like I think it's from Dine Out, this, is it sign or I don't know, words, and then the photo frames above the top, because I thought, you know, if he might only have one child, but if he has more, then they can have their pictures up there, and you know, I thought that would be really nice. And obviously it's not, if anybody else downloads it, then they're not gonna just use it for the MySims challenge. It can be for absolutely anybody, because that's what's so good about The Sims is, you know, one person's idea is it could be completely different to somebody else's. So I think that's really cool, and yeah, I love the community. It's so amazing how everybody's just so creative. So I'm just adding a couple more things into the wardrobe area and some more shoes, and I do add another light in the top so it does not so dark. So I changed this carpet out to wood, just to match the rest of the apartment, and then spend forever and a day trying to pick out a rug. Because I think that's probably one of my most challenging areas when it comes to buildings, is picking out rugs. I don't know why. It's just so hard. So I don't add too much more decorative items to this room, and then once I am done with this, I then add a couple of bits and pieces to the hallway. I do add a desk here. I didn't really know where to put the desk. I hadn't originally planned on actually putting one in here, but I thought, you know, he needs some fun every now and again, and I don't know whether it's just my game or whether it's just the game as a whole, but whenever any of my Sims read books, they're fun. Like, it doesn't go anywhere. And the same with watching TV, it doesn't really go up very much, but obviously when they play games on the computer, then it goes up quite a lot more. So I kind of feel like it's a staple feature in my builds now, is that all of my Sims have to have desks and computers because if it were me, then I don't know how I'd survive without. So I kind of project that onto my Sims too. So I just add a couple of certificate things to this wall here, and I put a toy box, like a dog toy box underneath that. So now we're onto the nursery room, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really know how to decorate this, since obviously he doesn't have any children just yet, so I keep it very neutral. I really like this bed from Eco Expansion. I think it's really nice. It's very different from all of the other beds, and I like the canopy and everything on the end of it. So I just add some pictures. I don't keep these pictures on this wall. I end up adding the trees and the what are they called, cloud decal sticker things, and then a birth certificate on the wall. Obviously it's kind of just for decorative purposes at this point, because there is no child, it doesn't exist right now. But you know, I think it looks pretty good in here now, and that is almost it. We just add a couple of more decorative pieces, like this corner cabinet, and then put a plant on the top, and then we're on to adding the pet stuff. So now I'm adding the toy box in here, and then I just add a bed. So that is pretty much it. So I hope you have enjoyed. This is on the gallery if you wish to download it, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.